A USC student is recovering after a hit and run near campus. We spoke to DPS about how they're working with LAPD to catch the driver.
Addie, I'm here in front of Doheny Memorial Park, where the Student Assembly for Gender Empowerment and USC Relationships Sexual Violence Prevention Services have put up t-shirts since last night in order to raise awareness for sexual assault.
And see why people are protesting a visit by the Saudi Arabian prince and his plans to meet with entertainment execs.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
A USC Dornsife student is recovering after a hit and run near campus. Good evening, I'm Lauren Floyd.
And I'm Addie Stafford. Annenberg Media's Suji Nam talked to a community member and USC's DPS about crime in the area.
This is where it happened. A hit and run on Budlong Avenue and 39th Street injured USC student Kimberly Cuellar last Thursday night.
Definitely the first one out of my family to be going to school, going to USC was always my, I remember being in the ambulance and telling the paramedics, like, please check my head, like, I want my brain to be okay,
We reached out to LAPD and this is what we know so far. The police has no suspect information, but the vehicle is a black sedan. The investigation is still ongoing. For one local resident, he says this is a common occurrence.
We hear stuff like that, it's not like everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, we're just gonna be like, oh, it happened again. It's a ghetto. You could get away with more in the ghetto than you can in Beverly Hills.
Now, if you're a USC student involved in an accident outside the DPS controlled areas, what's going to happen?
What we would do is add additional support to the student, make sure that family was notified, make sure there was follow-up at the hospital, make sure that the student receives all the support they deserve as a USC Trojan.
DPS and LAPD are working on this case to track down the driver.
The partnership that we have with LAPD is pretty substantial. We can find out information about investigations, offer them resources that we might have, whatever it takes to put our best foot forward with the investigation.
Anyone who has information is urged to call LAPD. For Annenberg Media, I'm Suji Nam.
Today, the government begins accepting H-1B applications for international workers. This is expected to be one of the toughest years to get a working visa. Annenberg Media's Dong Yao Ni has more about how it affects international students. Dong Yao?
Yes, Eddie, there's widespread anxiety among international students from the challenge of finding a job to tighter government policies. USC has more than 11,000 foreign students, and I talked to several of them about getting a job and a visa.
Is it okay?
Verena Mato is a USC graduate student from India. She's heading to another company info session for another attempt to get a summer job.
I'm in the process of looking for internships right now. I started my search in fall 2017.
International students need to get a working visa, also known as an H-1B visa, to legally work and live in the U.S. after graduation.
The H-1B applications in the U.S. have been increasing since 2013, but last year the number decreased by 15%. Many blame President Trump's Buy American, Hire American policy.
Definitely we are concerned. That is the major talk of the town, that, oh, you know what, maybe employers are not looking for us anymore.
Many foreign students are worried about the impact on recruiters.
I think the current political scenario, people are uncertain about what it's going to be like. So even if they hire us, they don't know what it's going to be like 2 years from now. Maybe that's why companies are shying away from it.
The government is also tightening background checks on applicants. Demands for more information, also known as requests for evidence, spiked 45% last year.
What they're really looking for is a direct relationship between your job that you got through the H-1B sponsor and the coursework that you did at USC. For example, an accounting student now suddenly wants to be a museum curator. It's not going to work anymore.
Verena decided to stay here and get a job after graduation, and so did Durrani.
I mean, if we have the talent, we should be given a chance.
The H-1B visa application deadline is this Friday. Back to you, Lauren and Eddie.
Politics are buzzing on the Hill and here at home.
Let's go to our political anchor, Kaylee Wells, with the latest.
Thanks, Lauren and Addie. Let's start over at the Capitol. President Donald Trump continued his Twitter attack on DACA, which offers protections for undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. He claims, quote, DACA is dead. The president continues to blame Democrats for its failure, but political expert Jean Rios says an executive order, DACA's fate rests with the president.
If the president wanted DACA to remain, then he wouldn't have terminated it. He wouldn't have canceled it. And so I think that realistically, everyone who has DACA and who is eligible to renew should do it as soon as possible, because this is a temporary situation and it is going to end.
Rios says the court order that has kept DACA in limbo doesn't have a set deadline, but DACA recipients should renew while they can and prepare knowing it can end at any time. And now here at home, LA voters head to the polls tomorrow to fill 3 vacant assembly seats. Of the 3 up for election, one district covers Sylmar all the way down to North Hollywood, another spans most of the San Fernando Valley, and the third includes West LA, Culver City, and Inglewood. Political expert Frank Zarunian says that even though 2 vacant seats came from resignations over sexual harassment claims, the election results might not reflect that.
At the end of the day, it all depends who the favorite son or daughter is of whatever special interest group that's going to put them up, that's going to win.
Women currently hold less than 1 in every 4 California legislative seats, which is lower than the national average. But with women running in all 3 districts, that could change tomorrow. The polls open at 7 tomorrow morning and close at 8 p.m. That's what's happening in politics. Back to you, Lauren and Addie.
Thanks, Kaylee. In honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month this April, student groups have hung up T-shirts with the stories of sexual assault survivors on campus. Annenberg Media's JT Arose is outside Doheny Library at the Clothesline Project art installation.
Thanks, Addie. I'm here in front of Doheny Memorial Park, where the Student Assembly for Gender Empowerment and USC Relationship and Sexual Violence Prevention Services have put up T-shirts since last night in order to raise awareness for sexual assault. Now, the T-shirts behind me detail the experiences of sexual assault survivors and friends of sexual assault survivors as well. Some of these T-shirts saying, "No means no, and you were like a father to me, but you betrayed my trust." Now, this issue is very timely, especially today in the media, because of movements like Me Too and Time's Up, and most recently, President Donald Trump declaring that April is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But specifically, Take Back the Night's Facebook page said that they were creating the Sexual Assault Awareness Series 2018 to provide safe spaces for these survivors so that they can heal from their trauma and be heard. Earlier, we spoke with 2 USC students who were heavily involved in organizing Take Back the Night.
It's really powerful to hear from survivors themselves. A lot of times there's so much stigma around this issue that survivors don't come out and tell their story. And so this offers a way for them to tell their story while still maintaining their anonymity and still being safe from their assailants. And for that, it's really powerful.
Being assaulted takes away a personal part of someone's identity, and being able to put it on a shirt and show other people across a college campus that the importance of it.
Now, the organization spearheading this initiative will have multiple events going on over the course of these next 2 weeks. But for those who are interested in learning more or reaching out, you can contact Trojans Against Sexual Assault, counseling services at the Engelman Health Center, and USC's RSVP's Voice Peer Outreach Program. For ATVN, I'm JT Arose. Back to you, Addie.
Thanks, JT. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, is in Los Angeles this week meeting with entertainment executives. Protesters in Beverly Hills today said he's a dangerous man out to make more money. Protesters were outside the William Morris Entertainment Agency, angry that the Saudi prince is trying to develop ties with some of Hollywood's biggest execs.
There's no business like war business. So we're here
outside of WME Entertainment. It's Ari Emanuel's firm. We're here because he's meeting with Prince bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, who's doing a PR tour of the United States. He's also a monarch and a dictator, and people in his country don't have human rights.
Annenberg Media reached out to the William Morris Agency about the meeting with the prince, but no one from the firm was available for comment.
Stocks plunged today after China imposed new tariffs on American products. The Dow Jones dropped 459 points to 23,644. The Nasdaq fell 193 points to 6,870.
The Trump administration is suing California over its laws. Again, in the fall, California passed a law that gives it the power to override the sale of federal lands that state leaders feel are worthy of conservation. The Department of Justice says this is unconstitutional. Attorney General Jeff Sessions said in a statement, quote, "We are forced to spend our resources to bring these lawsuits against states like California that believe they are above the law and are passing facially unconstitutional laws specifically intended to interfere with the federal government's ability to carry out its legitimate law enforcement duties," end quote.
Homeowners and businesses affected by the Montecito mudslides are coming to terms with the cost of damage. Find out how a USC family was impacted.
NBA legend Kobe Bryant was on campus talking to students about exceeding their own expectations. We'll have reaction.
And Mayor Eric Garcetti, along with other city leaders, came together to celebrate brand new low-income housing.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. You see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. That was good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit savethefood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
A new affordable housing complex opened its doors today in Boyle Heights. Annenberg Media's Madeline Audley spoke to community leaders about why the project is so important.
Thanks, Addie. The new development is complete with a playground, computer lab, and financial services like credit counseling. But more importantly, it's a place that longtime residents can afford to call home. Just off First and Soto sits Ciolito Lindo. Today, the new apartment complex celebrated its grand opening. The ceremony means quality, affordable housing for 50 families.
Every human being deserves that right to have a home.
The East LA Community Corporation, or ELACC, led the push for the project to keep longtime residents from being pushed out. Zillow reports that the median monthly rent this February in Boyle Heights was around $2,300. The LA Times reports that the average annual income is only around $33,000. Some rentals in Los Angeles are protected by the city's rent stabilization ordinance, but others aren't. A good rule of thumb to consider is if you're living in a building built before October of 1978, you're probably safe. But if you're living in a building built after, you might not be covered. Which is why organizations like ELACC have come in to help. Marta Silva is one of the lucky few to get a unit in Ciolito Lindo. She was in awe when she first saw her new home.
Because I, as a single mother, would not be able to provide to my daughters a place like this.
But not everyone has the same chance. ELACC's president says the work is far from finished.
We received over 3,000 applications of families that were in need of housing for 50 units.
The group is working on 2 similar projects down the block. Plus, the city of LA aims to build 100,000 units of affordable housing by 2021. Mayor Garcetti says this project shows that when communities come together, they can cause real change.
Here in Boyle Heights, we are not powerless, we are powerful.
The 2 other projects in the works will add 95 more affordable units to that same block. Lauren, back to you.
Thanks, Maddie. Custodians at USC are still in negotiations with their service contractor, Aramark. The workers are demanding higher pay and a fair contract. The custodians' demand for fair wages are supported by the United Service Workers Union. Several employees took to campus last week to protest. The current contract was extended and bargaining meetings are scheduled for April 18th and 19th. Another workers' march is scheduled to begin at Tommy Trojan on April 17th. We reached out to Aramark for an update on the negotiations. Aramark says, quote, "We have additional meetings scheduled with the union and continue to bargain in good faith."
Your cup of Morning Joe may soon come with a cancer warning label. Last week, the LA Superior Court ruled coffee companies have to warn consumers of a chemical produced in the roasting process. But one USC professor says the levels of carcinogens are nothing to worry about, and this is a distraction from more serious cancer risks.
Even though coffee may have very small amounts of acrylamide, the presence of that little bit of acrylamide in coffee does not seem to contribute to an increased risk of cancer, because we look at coffee as a whole, we don't see evidence that it increases the risk of cancer.
The LA Superior Court ruled that over 90 companies, including Starbucks, were unable to show that the health benefits of coffee outweigh the risks. That's a huge bummer, because this weekend it's going to rain and I could probably use a hot cup of coffee then.
Very true. Let's head over to Anissa to see just how much rain to expect.
Now, over the past weekend, we had a beautiful sunny days here in LA, but now we're kind of getting back into that cool weather here in LA. So right now it's 74 degrees with 50% humidity. Tomorrow in the Inland Empire, we'll see that Palm Springs will be a warm 94, Big Bear 67, and both San Bernardino and Riverside 81 degrees. Now, if we head towards the valley, we'll see that Simi Valley is 75 degrees, Thousand Oaks will be 78, and Malibu 72. If we head right here towards USC, we'll see that USC will be 75 degrees, Glendale 80, and LAX 73 degrees. If we look towards the weekend, we'll have cloudy days Tuesday through Thursday. Friday it'll get a little warmer, but then on Saturday, prepare for rain. Now, Montecito homeowners are finally getting insurance coverage for the damage done by the mudslides earlier this year.
Those mudslides were devastating. They took 23 lives and caused untold amounts of damage to homes and businesses in Montecito. These numbers only tell part of the tale of the devastation that Montecito and other communities suffered.
So far, the total loss is over $421 million, but the Department of Insurance is still expecting more claims. Most homeowner insurance policies don't cover mudslides, but the California Department of Insurance proved that the mudslides were related to the January fires. This means insurers have to pay for mudslide damage.
My parents were evacuated from our house for over a month. I had to stay with friends and family. The flood insurance did pay for my parents to stay in a hotel for a week, but we're still kind of working with them to get that money back. It's not fully paid back yet. As far as building, we have to rebuild our wall a few feet higher on our creek, and I'm not sure if they're going to pay for that at all.
The California Department of Insurance encourages residents to put in their claims as soon as possible and to be patient with the ongoing process.
Sometimes you forget how much it takes to, fix all those damages.
It's not easy.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Anissa. Students lined up outside Bovard Auditorium today to listen to former professional basketball player Kobe Bryant speak about being an entrepreneur. 5 USC students, including junior Victoria Garrick, were fortunate enough to personally ask the former NBA player a question. We spoke to the event organizer about why he wanted Kobe to speak to students.
Why wouldn't we want to learn from one of the greatest competitors of all time? It's important for USC students to learn from entrepreneurs, athletes, creatives, musicians, because there's something we can learn from everybody. So we want to learn what from his philosophy we can take and apply to our lives and to our crafts.
What I liked is, like, he's not just defined as a basketball player, but kind of showing that you can be great at all different things.
He said always outwork your own idea of how hard you can work, like your own potential. Like, I could work this hard, now outwork that.
I've watched him on TV for so many years, and to finally shake his hand and look him in the eye and get to ask him a question was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Bryant gave the students advice and told them to exceed their own expectations. Now let's go from the Lakers over to the Clippers because Mary Page has some news.
Yeah, I think the Clippers are making some news off the court.
We do. We've got a lot of basketball news for you guys tonight, but we caught up with the LA Clippers today to learn more about what they're doing for the community. And men's volleyball had an epic victory over number 3 UCLA on senior night. We tell you just exactly how they pulled off that upset.
And we're live from a Villanova watch party as March Madness comes to an end.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Mary Page Nussfetter, and the madness is nearly over. Villanova and Michigan take the court tonight in San Antonio for the NCAA Championship Final. Our very own Sarah McGrew is out at a bar filled with Villanova faithful. Sarah, how's it going on over there?
Hey, Mary Page, I'm here at the garage in Culver City where Villanova alumni have come together to cheer on their Wildcats. And as you can see, a lot of people have turned up. The Wildcats are a 7-point favorite to win this game, but Michigan won't go down without a fight. Mo Wagner, the Wolverines' 6'11" forward, is coming off a 24-point semi-final game. The game is just about to tip off, and it's sure to be an exciting one. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, in other basketball news, the LA Clippers are headed out to make a difference in the community. Mayor Eric Garcetti and First Lady Amy Elaine Wakeland have teamed up with the Clippers to provide LA kids with the access and opportunity to play regardless of zip code. Clippers owner Steve Ballmer and his wife Connie donated $10 million to renovate and restore the 344 basketball courts in the LA public recreation system.
I spent a lot of time on basketball courts. For me, it was a place to hang with my friends. It was a place for me to kind of calm down, chill out, depending on what was going on in my life. And so when the mayor called and said, hey, look, this opportunity is there, I talked to my wife, Connie, and we said, you know, let's go.
You know, I'm a product of a community center just like this. I played my very first basketball game in a community center. It's a great opportunity. I just want to say I'm excited to be a part of it, and thank you.
The project is slated to be finished by the end of 2021. The unranked men's volleyball team pulled off an epic senior night win over rival number 3 UCLA. Junior outside hitter Gianluca Grasso put away 20 kills for the Trojans in the 5-set victory. The Trojans are back in the gym today after celebrating the win, which was also their senior night. Jack Wyatt, Gert Leisha, John Rivera, and Connor Inlow were honored after the match. USC fell in the first before coming back and taking the next 2. They lost the following game, forcing a deciding fifth set. The Trojans came out hot, winning the final game 15-11.
My job is to try to win matches, so whether it's against my alma mater or whether it's against another school, I mean, the W is the same. Having not had a ton of success against that team and winning this one was a real nice sign of the times that it's good that towards the end of the season we're starting to play real good volleyball.
The men finished the regular season with 2 road games, playing this Friday against number 13 Grand Canyon University before taking on number 14 Concordia on Saturday. MPSF tournament play begins April 14th. And March Madness seems to be the gift that keeps on giving. While the tournament may be over tonight for the men, the women finished their competition in all-star fashion last night. Notre Dame beat Mississippi State in the final minutes to take the national title. Notre Dame's Arike Ogunbowale is basketball's newest hero, sinking a smooth three-pointer to win the game not once, but twice. She hit the same shot in the team's Final Four victory over UConn. Now talk about clutch. Ogunbowale's legendary performances have earned her praise from all around the sports community, with basketball great Kobe Bryant tweeting that her life was now complete after that memorable winning shot. Hashtag Mamba mentality.
Well, I love a good buzzer beater win, right?
Pretty epic.
And it should be interesting to see what happens tonight, too.
Absolutely. Villanova all the way.
Well, we'll see. I'm going to root for Michigan just to challenge.
All right, well, bring it on.
All right, well, thank you, Mary Pate.
Can you find out where to take the perfect selfie? I'll give you a hint. It's LA's new favorite attraction.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
迷惑ボーイ。
ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。When you ride on the bus or rail, don't eat popcorn, meat, or kale. Food can smell and it makes a mess. Keep LA Metro clean and fresh. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them.
Whip out those selfie sticks because the Museum of Selfies is open in Los Angeles for a limited time only. The Glendale exhibit celebrates the art of self-portrait throughout history and how we practice it today. It offers plenty of photo ops, work by award-winning artists, and the longest selfie stick in the world. The museum is open Wednesday through Saturday for the next 2 months.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Addie Stafford.
And I'm Lauren Floyd. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
I was going to say that woman was eating on the metro, so